The child's illness never made sense. Doctors came and went. Money poured in. Nothing worked. The mansion stayed spotless. Except for one corner, no one noticed. The poor nanny was warned to stay in her place, to never touch what wasn't hers. But every night, the boy grew worse. And something beneath his bed was waiting. What was the family hiding? And why did it only reveal itself to her? Tell me, where are you watching this story from? She arrived before sunrise every day, slipping through the servants' entrance while the mansion still slept. The nanny was poor, dark-skinned, and invisible by design, hired not for trust but for obedience. Her uniform was always clean, her hands always busy, and her presence tolerated only because the millionaire's son remained sick. Caring for him was her entire world. Cool cloths on a burning forehead, whispered prayers he was never meant to hear, long nights watching his chest rise and fall, terrified it might stop. The house itself felt hostile. Marble floors echoed with authority. Cameras watched silently. Every room reminded her of the line she was never meant to cross. She noticed how the parents avoided the child's bedroom and she began to sense patterns others ignored. The boy worsened at night. His fevers spiked after he slept. His small body reacted as if poisoned, yet every test returned clean. When she cleaned the room, she felt a strange unease near the bed, a heaviness in the air that made her chest tighten. She was told not to ask questions, not to move furniture, not to imagine problems where none existed. But fear sharpened her attention. And one evening, as the child's breathing faltered again, she realized the danger might not be inside his body at all, but hiding where no one thought. The nights became unbearable. The boy's condition declined faster than medicine could explain, and with every setback, the blame quietly shifted downward. Doctors hinted at poor hygiene. The parents questioned routines without ever asking who followed them. Their suspicion never rose toward wealth or authority. It sank toward the one person with no power to defend herself. The nanny felt it in the way eyes lingered, in the sudden inspections, and in the warnings delivered without accusation but heavy with threat. Security cameras followed her movements. She felt watched when she paused near the bed. Once, after she lingered too long, she was reminded, quietly, that curiosity cost jobs. In that house, questions from people like her were. She worked longer hours, slept less. Her body ached, but fear kept her alert. She noticed how the mansion transformed after dark. The air grew colder in the child's room. A faint, sour smell surfaced only at night and was gone by morning. She cleaned more thoroughly than ever, yet the smell returned. Every time the boy slept, his skin broke into rashes. His lips turned pale. His small fingers trembled as if fighting something unseen. The parents increased pressure. Specialists were flown in. New machines filled the room. Still, no answers. The boy's weight dropped. His eyes dulled. The doctors spoke of rare conditions, genetic failures, and mysterious syndromes. None of them looked under the bed. None of them noticed how the boy coughed only when lying down. None of them smelt what she smelt. Her fear shifted into something sharper. Anger. The quiet kind that grows when injustice repeats itself unchecked. She had seen this before. How systems protected wealth while sacrificing those without status. How blame followed skin color and poverty like a shadow. If the boy died, she knew exactly where responsibility would land. One night, the boy stopped responding. His chest barely moved. Alarms screamed. Adults rushed in, panicked and desperate, stepping around the nanny as if she were part of the furniture. She watched helplessly as machines did what hands could not. When the crisis passed, relief filled the room. But suspicion followed close behind. She was told to leave the room. To stay away. To wait. As she stood in the hallway, exhausted and shaking, the smell drifted out again. That night, she could no longer wait. The child lay in a restless fever, whimpering under the weight of invisible harm. Her hands shook as she crouched by the bed, every nerve screaming that she was about to cross a line she was warned never to cross. The mansion felt alive with watchful eyes, the walls pressing in, every shadow a silent threat. One wrong move could cost her everything. Her job, her freedom, even her life. She leaned closer to the floor, her eyes tracing the dark space beneath the bed. At first, it seemed empty, just dust and shadows. Then a flicker of movement. A discarded vial. A small, crudely hidden container. Heart hammering, she realized it had been there all along. Every night, every symptom, every failed treatment traced back to this one hidden poison, this silent enemy lurking where no one looked. The truth hit her like a blow. The child's illness was deliberate. The parents' indifference was no mistake. It was protection for whoever had placed it there. Rage and horror collided in her chest. She wanted to scream, to run, to shake the boy from the nightmare, but the house itself seemed to cage her in. Every instinct told her to act carefully, to think fast, to survive long enough to save him. She seized the vial, lifting it into the dim light, knowing that revealing it would shatter the fragile illusion of control that, the moment she revealed the vial, the mansion's fragile illusion of control collapsed. The parents' faces drained of color, their authority fractured by the undeniable proof in her hands. Doctors hovered, stunned, realizing every misdiagnosis, every unexplained decline, had been a cover for something far darker. The boy, pale and weak, was finally removed from danger, his small body trembling but alive, breathing deeply for the first time in months. Investigations followed. The mansion itself remained cold, vast, and indifferent. But its hierarchy had shifted. Fear no longer ruled entirely. One act of moral courage had pierced the armor of privilege. The nanny, once invisible, had become the unlikely hero, reminding the world that power is not only measured by money or status but by the willingness to act when silence would be easier. Her story spread quietly at first, a whisper among staff and neighbors, then louder, a lesson etched in the corridors of wealth. Injustice can hide in plain sight, and those society undervalues are sometimes the only ones brave enough to confront it. Racism, poverty, and blind obedience nearly claimed a child's life. But courage, persistence, and empathy saved him. The question lingers: how many suffer in silence while the powerful look away? And as the mansion's lights dimmed that